Governor Newsom takes a visit to our neck of the woods today, addressing the next round of flooding fears for Corcoran and the surrounding areas. I'm Brianna Imperial with a recap of his trip ahead on MyTV 53 News at 8.
The Fresno County Board of Supervisors officially approved Peace Officer Memorial Week this year. I'm Alexis Molina with the full story tonight on MyTV 53 News at 8.
Also tonight, over the course of the last 38 hours, Fresno's firefighters have been diligently addressing several structure fires across the city, including this one, which happened earlier this morning. We'll talk about the causes next in prime time.
New, local, unique. MyTV 53 News at 8 starts right now.
Good evening. Welcome to the San Joaquin Valley's only 8 p.m. news. I'm Austin Breed. It is Tuesday, April the 25th. Thank you for tuning in. We have lots of news to get to, so let's get started. First up, Governor Gavin Newsom paying a visit to the San Joaquin Valley today. Reporter Brianna Imperial joins us from the News Center with all of the details. Brianna, good evening.
Well, Austin, a number of representatives toured parts of Corcoran this afternoon, one area which was heavily impacted. Governor Gavin Newsom and state officials first spoke to the media and then surveyed the ongoing floods of the Tulare Basin. Kings County Supervisor Richard Valle kicked off the day by thanking Newsom for coming to the Central Valley.
For the governor to be here today lowers the anxiety level in the community of Corcoran and the people that I represent. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The governor's been our ripple of hope. And his appearance today, like this water behind us, creates a current that is lowering the anxiety level.
Next, Tulare County Supervisor Eddie Valero discussed the livelihood of so many impacted by the winter floods.
I want to thank Governor for his visit to the Central Valley and surveying the damage caused by several rounds of atmospheric floods.
An official from Cal OES was also on hand today. But let's now hear from Governor Newsom on why this trip was important to take.
Again, we recognize what's at stake, the levee. We recognize the impacts on the prisons. We recognize the prospects of displacement, property damage. We recognize the slow-moving nature of this. We recognize the temperatures are significantly increasing.
After officials spoke to the media, they spent the rest of the afternoon discussing flood preparations and prevention efforts and provided update on both short-term and long-term response and flood operations for both Kings and Tulare counties. Reporting in the News Center, Brianna Imperial, MyTV 53 News at 8.
Brianna, thank you for that update. We appreciate it. In Kings County this week, the County of Kings and the County of Fresno inviting residents for an upcoming town hall meeting. It's going to be at 6 p.m. this Thursday, April 27th, at the Kings River Hardwick School in Hanford. The meeting will address and present updates from the Kings River Conservation District and resources from the Kings County and Fresno County Emergency Operations Center. And the upcoming warmth will descend upon some of the state of California's deepest snowpack ever recorded, with the Southern Sierra still measuring 256% of normal for the date. The average snow water equivalent, or the amount of water contained in the snow, is about 56 inches. That's according to new state data. And new tonight, most of Yosemite Valley will close starting this Friday at 10 p.m. due to the potential for flooding. The closure will last until next Wednesday, May 3rd, possibly longer. Additional flooding and closures may occur later in May or June. Reservations for lodging and campgrounds in eastern Yosemite Valley will be automatically canceled and refunded. Wilderness permits can be rescheduled to alternate trailheads as space allows. During the closure, Wawona, Mariposa Grove, Crane Flat area, Hetch Hetchy, and western Yosemite Valley will be open. In Yosemite Valley, the closure will be at El Capitan Crossover. There will be no visitor access east of that road. Parking in western Yosemite Valley and throughout the park will be extremely limited. Officials also say do not park off-road. No services will be available in western Yosemite Valley. And our storm mode coverage continues with the following video. Officials say you need to be extremely cautious anywhere near the river. Ranger Jason, a former U.S. Coast Guard rescuer and ocean lifeguard, says moments after he was rescued in a training scenario, it was not fun.
It's really cold. Luckily, I've got this amazing dry suit on. I've got my PFD, but you can hear I'm hard of breath. So really, really cold. It takes its toll on the body, and that was just for a matter of seconds. So I can't imagine that would be like for a whole entire minute or even faster than this. So super dangerous, and I have a lot of respect for these people that are really kind of risking their lives to do this as well.
Yeah, it's dangerous stuff. Do stay with MyTV53 News at 8 all week for continuing coverage of our severe weather. New tonight in Madera County, the search has ended for a drowning victim at Bass Lake. Shortly after 3 o'clock yesterday, Madera County Sheriff's Communications Center was notified of a possible drowning at the Lupine Campground day use area of Bass Lake. Officials tell MyTV53 that the victim was not wearing a life jacket. Overnight in Fresno, Northeast Policing District officers were dispatched to the Village Shaw Apartments in the 4900 block of North Recreation Avenue for a physical disturbance. When officers arrived, they found 64-year-old Vincent DuRay Brewer unconscious in the courtyard. Officers performed first aid until EMS arrived and took over. Brewer was transported to the hospital where he later died. While on scene, officers learned that Brewer was involved in a heated conversation with his nephew, 28-year-old Keith Walker Jr. Walker allegedly punched Brewer once, causing Brewer to fall to the ground. Walker, who was contacted by officers on scene, was detained and later interviewed by detectives. During this interview, Walker actually admitted he got into an earlier verbal altercation with Brewer. Walker also admitted to punching Brewer as a result of the altercation. After feeling disrespected by Brewer, Walker was arrested and booked into the Fresno County Jail. We are on the fire watch tonight. Earlier this morning in Fresno, a former IHOP caught on fire. Our crews went to the location earlier today. Here's that video. Firefighters arrived around 3 a.m. to Blackstone near Shields, right across the street from Manchester Center. Officials say the old IHOP restaurant has already experienced a number of fires. This morning, they even found one homeless person sleeping inside the former restaurant. Now, the current owner says he wants to demolish the building, but it seems that the homeless keeps that from happening. This all comes at a time where just over the course of the last 38 hours, Fresno's firefighters and investigators have been diligently addressing several structure fires across the city. In addition to 4 incidents within the last day and a half, firefighters say they have promptly responded to other emergencies during this time frame. And tonight, they say they are worried with the weather heating up. I spoke with them this afternoon.
It's unfortunate that we have a lot of citizens here in the city of Fresno that do occupy these vacant properties as shelter.
In more crime news, last night around 10 p.m., Merced police detectives arresting 18-year-old Alexander Xavier Morales at a home in East Merced. Morales was wanted for the murder of 21-year-old Jordan Terrell Love. On December 21st of last year, Merced police received a call regarding an assault that occurred in the 1100 block of B Street in Merced. Officers responded and located Love, who was suffering from multiple stab wounds. Detectives previously arrested 2 other people who remain in custody. Morales was booked into the Merced County Jail. And this just in from the Tulare County Sheriff's Office. Back on April 13th, the Tulare County Sheriff's Office receiving information that a teenage girl is being sexually abused. Through further investigation, detectives with the Special Victims Unit learned that the original victim's 2 teenage sisters had also been sexually abused by the same suspect for years. The suspect tonight has been identified as 38-year-old Victor Manuel Medina Ramirez. Detectives tracked him down in Hanford, and they have arrested him tonight. Finally, in your first few minutes of nonstop news here at 8 o'clock, back in Fresno County, new tonight, the county announcing earlier today they plan to honor fallen police officers. Reporter Alexis Molina joins us with this story.
This morning, the Fresno County Board of Supervisors proclaimed May 14th through May 20th, 2023 as Peace Officer Memorial Week.
Whether it was Harry Van Meter back in February 21st of 1907 or shortly thereafter, Jody Price, March 13th of 1907. Van Meter was a Fresno police officer. Price was one of our deputy sheriffs, all the way up to January 31st of 2023, when Gonzalo Carrasco from the Selma Police Department was killed in the line of duty in Fresno County. There's been too many.
The meeting today began with a color guard presentation and was attended by Fresno County Sheriff John Zanoni. The board also approved May 4th of this year as Peace Officer Memorial Day in Fresno County. The National Law Enforcement Memorial and Museum will hold ceremonies, including the 35th Annual Candlelight Vigil, to honor fallen soldiers whose names have recently been added to the memorial. The vigil will be held on Saturday, May 13th. In 1962, President Kennedy proclaimed May 15th as National Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which May 15th falls as National Police Week.
It's not something that we look forward to, but it's something that we do to honor, to respect, and show how proud we are of those individuals who have given the ultimate sacrifice in protecting the residents of Fresno County. Thank you.
Meanwhile, supervisors proclaimed this week as National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Reporting for MyTV 53 News at 8, I'm Alexis Molina. Austin, back to you.
Alexis, thank you. It is Tuesday night. MyTV 53 News at 8 is just getting started. Still ahead, Crime Victims Week is also happening in Kern County. Reporter Ali Soper will tell you about a special event to take part in later this week. And later, the County of Fresno releasing a brand new public service announcement about the dangers of flooding. Speaking of flooding, temperatures are going to warm up later this week, which is causing a real concern for water to just pour down. We'll have your full weather forecast coming up. New, local, unique. This is MyTV 53 News at 8, and we are back in a little over 2 minutes.
This is MyTV 53 News. New, local, unique with Austin Reed. You're watching MyTV 53 News at 8.
And we appreciate you staying with us on this 25th of April. Let's talk about what's happening in Kern County for our viewers on KNXT. Bakersfield residents living near Plans Park will have some new amenities to utilize thanks to a new rehabilitation project at the park. The Bakersfield Rec and Parks Department tells us that they have completed a basketball court rehabilitation and Americans with Disabilities Act compliant sidewalk and drinking fountain improvements. The more than $187,000 improvements were made possible thanks to the Public Safety and Vital Services Measure N. Earlier in our newscast, our Alexis Molina told you about this week being Crime Victims' Rights Week in Fresno County. Well, it's the same story down in Kern County. New tonight, reporter Ali Soper also explaining how the Bakersfield area will be honoring the week.
Welcome to this week's Around Kern County. I'm your host, Ali Soper. This week, the Kern County Board of Supervisors declared April 23rd through 29th as Crime Victims' Rights Week here in Kern County. You can prepare to take part in this important campaign by joining the Kern County District Attorney's Office as part of National Crime Victims' Rights Week. This year's theme is Survivor Voices, which will elevate, engage, and affect change.
This year's theme calls upon communities to amplify the voices of survivors and create environments where survivors have the confidence that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Here in Kern County, we commit to elevating and engaging survivors to lift their voices, inform policy and practice, and thereby effect change. By engaging survivors, we ensure our responses and services to victims and survivors are credible, meaningful, and centered on their individual needs.
On Thursday, April 27th, you can participate in the 9th Annual Kern County District Attorney's Office Crime Victims' Rights March from 3 to 4 p.m. at 1215 Truxton Avenue in the East Courtyard between the Kern County Administrative Building and Superior Courthouse. This important event will honor those who have been victims of crime here in Kern County with an emphasis on child victims of crime. Our district attorney wants our community to know everyone is invited to attend and take part in this important event. Attendees are invited to bring signs or wear t-shirts representing the victims they're honoring.
My TV 53 News continues with the Valley's local forecast.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart, broke it here, made friends and lost them through the years. And I've not seen the boring fields in so long. I know I've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make.
Connect with Austin on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow, like, share at Austin Reed On Air.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back in storm mode now as the County of Fresno and FROG, the Flood Response Operations Group, have released a Life Over Recreation public service announcement tonight. It's to educate the public about the potential flooding from the record snowfall, as well as encouraging residents to choose life over recreation. Here's a portion of that message new tonight.
This is a wreck in slow motion. I don't know any other way to put it.
The water systems of Fresno County are large and complex, and to help us understand how it works, we spent the day touring the Kings River with Fresno County Supervisor and local water expert Buddy Mendez.
This water starts at Pine Flat, but above Pine Flat, we have the high Sierras.
Most of the water that will travel through the county begins as snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains. As temperatures rise, snow melts and flows down the mountain into our two main reservoirs, Millerton Lake and Pine Flat Reservoir. In a normal year, water is slowly released from these reservoirs into a variety of rivers and canals, primarily for irrigation. In the north portion of the county, water is released from Millerton Lake into the San Joaquin River and Frank Kern Canal. The Frank Kern Canal runs south into Kern County, while the San Joaquin River runs west past Fresno out to the Mendota Pool. In the southern region of the county, Pine Flat Dam releases water into the Kings River, which moves through lower elevations where it splits into north and south forks. The north fork of the Kings then flows west through the James Bypass and eventually into the Mendota Pool, where it meets the waters from the San Joaquin River. From there, the combine flows past Fireball, eventually making their way to the Pacific Ocean.
So it's basically first irrigation. And then secondly, the system has to be robust enough to take flood water. You know, and this might be one of those years that we could break the greatest amount of runoff in a season.
Super important stuff to keep in mind. Another reminder for you, the Kings and San Joaquin rivers are still closed to recreational users. If you violate this, the infraction comes with a minimum fine of $225. Coming up next year on the News at 8, we're talking about Barbie. But as we leave you to break, we've got a big announcement as 559 Fights MMA, the premier mixed martial arts promotion in the Central Valley, is proud to announce a new partnership with us here at MyTV53 to broadcast its live events across the region. Starting Sunday, May 1st, fight fans can tune in to watch some of the most exciting fights in the MMA world live on MyTV53. So keep watching only on Channel 53. Hey, before we go tonight, we've got a couple stories for you. Mattel earlier today introducing its first ever version of the Barbie doll representing a person with Down syndrome. The new doll is part of Mattel Barbie Fashionistas line, which aims to offer kids more diverse representations of beauty and fight the stigma around physical disabilities. Previous Barbie Fashionistas have included a doll with a prosthetic leg, one with hearing aids, another that comes with a wheelchair, and a doll with a skin condition, which causes patches of skin to lose their pigment. In pet news for you, finally, from Valley Animal Center, a 5-year-old Shih Tzu mix is up for adoption. Here's the thing, she is blind and deaf, but looking for a great home. The shelter was closed today, but you can visit her tomorrow from 2 to 7 p.m. Again, that's at Valley Animal Center in Fresno. Well, we are getting closer to the middle of the week, and by the end of the week, get ready for a big warm-up. Here's a final look at your forecast from Fresno to Bakersfield. The 90s are coming with a vengeance, and then overnight lows in the upper 50s to low 60s. The hot weather won't stay for too long. It looks like by early next week, we will cool back down. That's going to do it for the news on this Tuesday. I'm Austin Reed, hoping your news is good news. Have a great rest of your night. We thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.